Next, let's review 2D and 3D measurement types. We'll also work a lot more with the Model Manager. First, we import some data. Now, instead of doing an initial alignment this time, we'll do a transform alignment. As you can see, endpoints is selected. That's what we want to use. I'll go ahead and choose similar picked points. And I have refined alignment checked, which means when I accept this, it'll continue to improve the alignment. Next thing I'm going to do is a best fit, using all of the CAD data and not including any special faces. Next, let's talk about feature creation. I want to create a plane that includes two CAD faces. So I'll turn off my measurement data. You can see this CAD face and that CAD face. I'd like to make a composite selection across them. So I'll choose plane. I'll click on my first plane, press Shift, click on my second plane, and then I'd like to note out one feature here. Make measured geometry automatically is selected. Now this means as soon as I accept this plane creation, I'll have a reference plane and it will auto-create a measured plane. If I turn this off, it's just a plain reference plane. It has no pair. I'll keep it on and press the checkbox. Now let's talk about another case of creating features. Here, I'd like to choose the specific scan data that I want to use. As you can see, I've got a stem on this casting that still needs to be finished. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, turn off my reference geometry, and then look at the part in a way that it's easy for me to select the data I'm interested in. I'm going to choose plane, and I'm going to use a paintbrush tool to select the scan data to make my measured plane here. Later on, I will pair that with the CAD face. So I'll press Alt, increase the size of my paintbrush, and then select some points. And be careful to avoid the stem area, which is where I do not want to have selected data. Okay, that looks good. I'll accept it. Alright, now I have a plane called plane 2 that's under my measured body, and I want to pair this with a CAD face. So let's go ahead and do pairing manager. I'm going to choose my local option because I'm specifically assigning a relationship between a measured feature and a CAD feature. Now what I want to do is turn on my reference body, turn off my measured body, and I can see the two things that I'd like to pair. There's my CAD face, there's my measured plane. So I'll choose my reference entity, and then I'm going to choose define measured geometry manually. That means I'm going to go pick exactly what that measured pair will be, and that's that plane I created earlier. And I'll go ahead and accept it. Great. Now let's do some measurement. Another great new feature of Control X is automatable sections. This means that I can create a section, make some measurements on it, and then it's repeatable with new scan data. We'll go ahead and go to GD&T tab, create a new 2D group. It's going to ask me for the base plane. I'll choose my constructed plane. Then I'll drag it into my part sum. I can resize the cutting plane. And I'm going to actually choose something like 20 millimeters as my offset distance. I'll press accept. Alright, and as you can see, we've automatically pointed out the highest deviation point here. And we're going to choose to apply some measurements to our 2D section. First thing I'll do is a smart dimension. Now I'm going to point out all these spheres here. So I'll go ahead and choose that edge, that edge. And as you can tell, we're automatically creating and automatically finding the feature. So I chose all of my circles, placed my tag, press OK. Next thing, I'll do a little bit of linear dimensioning. So I'll choose this circle here, and that circle there, and then I actually want to fix my alignment so that I'm measuring it the right way. Say y-axis, giving me the distance between that circle and that circle. I'd also like to choose maximum conditions here for the arcs. I like to know the maximum deviation here, the maximum edge-to-edge deviation. So I'll go ahead and choose those options and place my tag, and press OK. Now here's where viewpoints start to come in. I'm going to go ahead and exit a section. And when I look over here on my custom viewpoint control panel, you can see that this is the viewpoint which will be reported. I actually want to do a slightly different viewpoint because my tags are oriented in a strange way in this one. So I'm going to enter into my section mode, select my section one more time, and then reassign my custom viewpoint. This new viewpoint gives me the properly oriented set of tags. Great. Now that I'm done with the section, I'll go ahead and turn it off. The next thing I'll do is a 3D measurement. So I'll choose 3D, add a new group. Now I want to make some smart dimensions. So let's go ahead and use our previously constructed plane pair. And I want to do, let's say I want to know the angle between this plane and that plane. Go ahead and place that tag. And then maybe I also want to know what the flatness is on this surface, and I also want it to be a datum. So go ahead and place a datum there. Use the right-click tool to exit. Choose flatness there. Place the tag and say OK. Let's reorient my tags. And I'm going to square up to the part a little bit differently because I'm going to make this a custom viewpoint also. So I'll move this into the view a little bit better. Zoom in. All right, now when I select this GD&T group, you can see the pre-selected viewpoint. It doesn't actually show me the flatness the way I want it to see. So I'll go ahead and say reassign viewpoint. That looks much better to me. I can clearly see the angular dimension. I can clearly see my datum. I can clearly see all of the reportable information that I'd like to push to my report.